Hello, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, and time has moved forward slightly since the last episode. I haven't moved forward our units into this gap yet, but I've done a little bit of work behind the scenes on increasing our production and rearranging our forces ready for the invasion of Finland. Just a quick update really on the whole process. And maybe to respond to a few comments as well. So thank you very much to everyone that's told me how to delete theatres. So what I'm just going to try and quickly do at the moment is delete a theatre from somewhere. Somewhere where maybe it's not particularly useful, maybe. How about we try and delete this northern strategic direction? So if I make it so that the northwestern one has all of this. Let's just see if this... Oh. Don't do this to me, game. We're painting by numbers, guys. Right. Okay. Now, let's take all of the units and deselect them. There is probably a quicker way to do this, but I'm not going to do it like that because I'm a fool. Now, hopefully, this will mean I can delete. Aha! Brilliant. Right, thank you very much, guys. So, in the interlude, once I've done this episode, I will probably go around and reorganize and delete any extra theatre HQs that I don't think we need, because we don't need, like, the amount that we have, just clogging things up. But I have rearranged the Navy into a slightly more streamlined entity, and I've moved our Air Force into position for the invasion of Finland, and moved our tanks up as well, that I've newly created. So pretty much everything is in position. I'm still waiting for some infantry divisions to get into position, but I think we have the strength, to be honest, to break them down anyway, even though they will get a large amount of buffs. So let's just jump straight in, I think, guys. Oh, there was also, sorry, I'll just quickly outline some plans in the south. So, if I puppet these guys, there is a chance the UK might declare war on me, even if they're a puppet. So, I'm going to conquer Iran, and I might still end up losing some territory, but hopefully it'll mean that AI UK won't attack me. And then Afghanistan, I'm going to puppet. And then really it's just Sanjing here that I'm debating. If we can get them into the faction, then I don't think it'll be a problem to keep them alive. But I'll probably at least puppet them. And then I'm debating Tibet, because we might be able to take them as well. And communist Tibet would make me chuckle. And then Turkey, that's the other possible objective. Yeah, I still don't know why we weren't able to invade Poland. We should have been able to, so that's a little bit odd. And production-wise, there's the last of our current work on our Grand Volga Railway and road autobahn system that we have running from, hopefully, Kazan on this last stretch all the way to Stalingrad. We've already built the infrastructure up here. So we've now got a level 10 road that runs all the way from Leningrad down to Stalingrad. And then my plan is to expand this all the way along to Vladivostok. But that'll be a much slower process. I need to concentrate on production of units at the moment. And to that end, I am upgrading literally every single one of our infantry units that has light armour as one of the attachments. Because there are loads of them. And I can't stand the fact that light armour won't be with motorised infantry. That just makes me annoyed. So you'll notice our production queue is huge, but it's should be fairly quick. I mean, we're saying that we're going to get the majority of these things done by December time. So January 1940 if we had all production going. So, yeah, hopefully not too long if all goes to plan. Now, I have got the football going on my other screen. So, if you see me sort of randomly go quiet, it's probably because I'm looking at that. And I do have a bit of a cold going at the moment. So I apologise for slightly longer opening, but let's get in. The non-aggression pact between Germany and Russia in August 1939 turned many heads in Finland. Germany agreed to give the Baltic states, including Finland, to Russia. Of course, all this was kept secret, and as time went on, the events became known to the Finns. As the Russian aggression grew, the Finns requested help from Germany, only to be turned away, leaving the Finns to face Russia's aggression alone. When Finland refused to allow the Soviet Union to build military bases on its territory, the latter revoked the Non-Aggression Pact of 1932 and attacked Finland on November 30th, 1939, which is the exact date that we are on. The Winter War ended in a peace treaty drawn up in Moscow on the 13th of March 1940, giving southeastern Finland to the Soviet Union. And hopefully that doesn't happen too much. So, you'll notice that our officer ratio is a little bit lower than it was, and that's because I've really struggled to keep that as high as possible. So we've had a lot of events kick in with losing officers, so that's been a problem. So we lose a little bit of a relation with all the Scandinavian countries. I'd expect to lose more with Finland, considering we're declaring war on them. Soviet Union loses free neutrality, and the Finns get the negotiations event. We can close that because we've read it. So, the Finnish Winter War, the demands have been rejected, unfortunately. So, this does mean war. So, we declare war on Finland, and the UK, Sweden and Norway hate us a little bit more. And the Finland get the White Death event, which is an event that buffs all of their units pretty substantially. And this does mean war indeed. So, air power is going to be very important, and I can switch straight into service by requirement. Is there anything else that we can do? Don't want to do specialist training. Yeah, so we don't need any fleet units because it's not worth the loss of IC. We've got to redirect our manpower. Oh, no, we don't want AI control. Let's make sure that's off. Yep, so redirect our manpower. Now, with the Soviet Union, it might actually be worth doing this, purely because of the fact that, sure, you lose 1,000 manpower, but we have a lot of manpower. So we'll lose a little bit of national manpower modifier for more factory workers, but we do get a fair amount of IC efficiency for production, or we can go for better research. I personally favour the production, so I'm going to go for more factory workers, and I am going to take that. And then we have the home front, which is wartime measures. So we lose some national revolt risk, we get more energy, less money, and a little bit less consumer goods during wartime. We lose 5,000 supplies, we gain 500 metal, 250 raw materials, a little bit of manpower to maybe offset what we just did there, and the Soviet Union gains 500 officers. So every little helps. That does take us over the 96% threshold, which is good. Right, and I think we're now at war with the Soviet Union. Very good. So, can't do peace yet, but we can add a war goal on December 30th. Now, the Finns, for whatever reason, have no troops on the border with us. So, I'm hoping we can get across the river line pretty pronto. Because they have really nothing to stop us. And I've amassed all of our armour right in front of them. Now, I'm going to make sure that we've got our planes in the OBE for the moment. As you can see, I've massed a pretty large amount of air power here. And thank you to the guy that commented recently. He did say about using AI control. I mean, I really don't think that's a good idea. The AI in Hearts of Iron 3 on AI control just completely mucks up your order of battle because they rearrange everything. So in principle, I think it sounds fine. But in my experience, it just doesn't work. So I appreciate, you know, the comment there, but I'm not going to do that purely because I've had bad experiences with the AI, and I don't mind running things. That's fine. You know, it's one of those things. Right. So we have air superiority task going now. Now I'm going to do ground attack in both of those regions with my light bombers. Now we've got yet more fighters to support. And I'm just going to make sure that all of them are sort of defending or attacking. Oh, and you get a lot of, this was quite cool, I noticed this. You get a lot of female, air guys, which is, air guys? God. Pilots. Jesus. Yeah, you get a lot of female, pilots in the game, which is really cool. It's good that that's modelled in. I didn't realise that going into it, so very nice. Now, on this particular one, I'm wondering whether or not we should do some logistical bombing to try and muck up the supply. So let's do a little bit of logistical bombing with these guys. Let's do some runaway... Runaway? Runaway! No, not runaway. Runway cratering with our air units here. We've got some more heavy bombers. Let's do the logistical bombing again. Now this might backfire when we get to there, but, you know, swings and roundabouts. Right, so now we do have some units in front of us here that might pose somewhat of a threat. I'm going to have to see how sort of good we do in these battles. Let's move up. They aren't ready, really. And let's go for air superiority all along here. Aha. And we're going to go for ground attack with that unit. Ground attack with this one. And I think, yeah, we do have some air power here that I'm going to use, I think, to try and get a breakthrough here. Alright, let's see how we're looking. Let's take that unit controls off. Right, so the bombing in Petsalm, they've only got a couple of very basic HQ divisions. And just a quick update about Operation Z as well. So, it seems to me like the Japanese have completely fucked this game. China has held them on this river line very easily. And the Japanese are along here as well. So, they've just been held at this point for ages now, and it's not been a problem. So I say that's very impressive. Now the question is, can we break this unit? It's going to be less about organization because that organisation will be a lot better than our units because of our officer issues and the fact I've had to rush them up there. Sorry guys, I'm mainly recording this one because I just want to get it out and I'm enjoying the Soviet campaign. It's been fun so far. I'd say it's been the most fun campaign. Most fun? I don't think that's right. It's been very good so far. And it's good to get some war done early, you know, it's only a little war. Right, and we've completely decimated them now. Right, we've got an infantry unit there, semi-motorised one there, and they are floundering a little bit. But we are moving ridiculously slowly. I was expecting movement a little bit quicker than what we've got. Got everyone attached into some sort of command network. Good. I might just connect these guys straight to the north yet. Being led by Rai Baliko, I know nothing about him, so I don't know whether or not he's a good Soviet commander or whether or not he was bad. Judging by his skill level, I assume that historically he at least knew something about what was going on. Right, blizzards. So this will get quite tough, I think. But bombings wise, we're doing very well. Just got taken out of the League of Nations. So we will create convoy raiders. We don't need supply like that. And we've just been kicked out of the League of Nations, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. Norway wants us to be their friend, even though we're invading their neighbour. It's not great. So the real question is, can we move up to Vilpuri easily? Hopefully we can. Looks like we're going to make it into the first sort of echelon here. Attacking in winter is never fun. It does look like our armour is starting to tell, and we've got mechanised breakthrough, which is a really good, that's one of the Soviet tactics, and that is really useful. Looks like you get a lot of really strong buffs out of that. We will pay our navy. We don't need that. We don't need that. Let's get rid of our dissent. If we can break through at Alamani, or whatever the hell it's called, that'll be good. 10th of December they'll get there though, so it's slow going. Looks like we're causing some major trouble to their infrastructure. Stopping a lot of their reinforcements from getting up here by bombing these areas. Wow. So my reason for doing this is, my thinking is that it will cause infrastructure issues along the main highway. So I'm going to try and bomb here as well. Go. And we don't need to do autarky. Just purely because we already get an absolute shed ton of stuff anyway. Looks like we're attacking. It looks like we're pushing through. Sure, they've got a better commander, but... Oh, we are... Wow, they are dropping in strength extremely quickly. Not doing so well there, but... we can break this unit with air power. I'm going to do coal rationing, so that gets a little bit more descent out of the way. I think our IC for production just kicked in there as well. So that's 7% I think just kicked in. God, it only is nearly 2.5 IC to build a road now. That's very cheap. Oh, we've even got our heavy armor brigade, the T-35. Historically not a particularly good tank, it must be said. The real question is, can they stop us? It looks like they can stop us at the theory. Let's try and break through. And we've got a chance for a veteran unit. Let's, we need some experienced Red Army divisions, so let's do that. Single Red Army veteran unit. And a... oh, there's a special cannon cavalry. No, we don't like cavalry. Unless it's in secondary theatres. Yeah, we've already just dropped a load of IC out of there, which is good. Right, and that's the end of our Great Road. Infrastructure's been pretty important to me, and I'm glad I built it. Speaking of which, you know what? I can actually put you purely into there, and then probably I'll leave that unit there as well. And then the real question is, can we use light medium bombers to punch a hole in Field Fury? Hopefully we can. Got light bombers being used to good effect against... ah, he's a pretty good general. So I've played Finland quite a few times, and I really like playing Finland. They're one of my favourite campaigns in the game. Because they just get a lot of really cool, like, events and things. We've nearly taken Petsalmo. I think right now we've got a standard war goal just to take sort of some of the more easily takeable areas. And I think I might... so they're really struggling to move through. Oh, we've got a little bit of air combat. Looks like we are crushing them. Hopefully. Now I'm hoping we can ford the river, because we should hopefully be able to. The question is, when's their breaking point? That's the real question. Try and move into Alemanni. Can I use you guys maybe? Yeah, let's use you for ground attack. Let's use them for ground attack there as well. So far, air power is sort of telling in this battle. In the first week, we've sort of reached where I thought we would reach. Yeah, that's good. I think we've just broken their first sort of area of resistance. I am going to move my garrison unit up. I'm hoping I can do a little encirclement here. Because if I can, so let's take that unit around. So you're moving up one. Let's take you round. That would be good. And in fact, I can probably take you a little bit further. Let's do that. So if I can take these 3 divisions out, that would be very positive. Aha, we've... yeah, that's good. Okay, so I think we've forded the river. So originally, of course, the Winter War was a pretty calamitous issue for the Soviets. The Finns put up a greater resistance than I think anyone really reasonably could have expected. There we go, we've won the Battle of Viipuri. But it feels like we've caught them with their pants down a little bit in this. You know what, let's provide a little bit of air support here as well. And one other thing just to bear in mind is the reason no text coming up is done is because I'm pumping everything into officers at the moment to try and build our officer ratio back up. I'm not going to get through there now. More Red Army experienced divisions would be good. And I'm going to try... Can you bomb there? What's your effective range? Oh, only... It's not that good, is it? What have we got going? Let's try and soften them up with air attacks. Looks like we're doing quite well in the far north. We took Petsamo, which is their only non-Baltic port. And speaking of which, we can probably use our navy a little bit. This will be one of the only times when we probably can use our navy effectively. Just to provide a little bit of fire support. That heavy armor is very slow. Right, come on, get over the river. If we can ford the river, then I'm pretty sure we will quite easily handle Finland. Right, there we go. And they've been forced to fall back now. Let's just make sure all of our tanks are in position before we start the next stage. Very good. And there's Viipuri. Right, Zhang Ying wants to give us trade rights. And we haven't got an option to win this war yet. If we get this done ahead of time, I assume we get maybe a boost. That'd be nice. Yeah, we are suffering in this battle here, but everywhere else we're doing pretty well. Not great though, to be honest. There's our infrastructure dead zone. I'm going to cancel those now. Because I feel like we've done enough logistical bombing now. So let's push up. With these 5 units. Like so. Right. And then let's, I think, push up with these units here. So we're going to move our HQs directly around. So far this has been a masterful sort of deep breakthrough operation. I've been pretty impressed with our units, all things considered. They're doing pretty well. Not amazing, but, you know, it's as good as I expected the Soviet army to perform. Which, you know, is, I'll admit, low praise, but... Oh, it's air power, though. That's what's doing this. It is purely air units. And the fact that we're just massing armour. This is how Stalin wished the Winter War was going to go. Just imagine him in his little house in Stalin, not in Stalingrad, in Moscow. I'm going to take that trade deal. Because 50 rare materials a day for that amount of money is obscene. 50 money a day. Thank you, Germany. I'll take your money. Right, come on, keep pushing them. Right, I'm going to put this on 4 speed now because I'm not that worried. We are getting a lot of HQs. Very good. The more veteran HQs that we get, the better. And this should allow them to, hopefully, rebuild some units. Have we got any bombings going on? Yeah, just out. And Savoy. You know, we could break them without the use of these divisions, you know. I think they're going to buckle. They are reforming a defense now. You do want more experienced Red Army divisions, game, you're right. Thank you. All these veteran HQs will come in pretty useful, because I will put them in tank divisions. Let's use the Red Air Force here. No, I don't want you to logistically bomb. No, no. Naughty bombers. Right, yeah. You guys now Let's have you do... Infrastructure-wise, where's the infrastructure good? So we killed this infrastructure here. There's nowhere else I really want to take out, is there? Maybe some bombing here, but ground attack's not the best with them. I don't know, to be honest. I do not know. We could just go for some straight bombing. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, fuck it. Let's just do ground attack there, where we're struggling a little bit. Well, we took the province that I was trying to encircle, so let's stop that battle. Straight over. Let's dig in. Quite easily taking their objectives. And we are running rampant through their territory. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Very good. You know what? I'm actually gonna redeploy. Because we don't necessarily need to do any more major attacks here. Let's try and push up there. The 9th Division is holding off a lot of units here. Is there a shipyard? There's a shipyard where there's no port. Game. You're drunk. So that's some more air units. So I'm building air units just to make sure that we've got like the majority of things built. I've been quite impressed with our heavy bombers. They took out the infrastructure really quickly. Maybe it's a good idea to use them to soften up Helsinki. Where are they? Hey there, guys. I think you're all going to be better used doing strategic bombing on the capital. Don't really have any air defenses. You know what? Let's try to maybe do an encirclement of the whole front here. Unfortunately, my infrastructure destruction plan has somewhat backfired. That's not an available place with which to put my units. But over here is. We did redeploy them, which loses them a little bit of their capability, but we can use them for immediate ground attack. I thought the game had crashed there. There's another plane. So yeah, we've only got another 2 planes being built now. Well, 3, sorry. Take that up to another wing. And hopefully we'll get some of these motorized out, because they look like they're what's delaying a lot of our production at the moment. Nope. Let's just wait for this infrastructure to get rebuilt. We're in sort of the Lake District now, so to speak. This is our first motorized brigade, actually, which is cool. It's a good claim to fame. Let's use them on the ground attack mission there, because this is their only motorized unit, actually. They have 2 units here, actually. I didn't realise that. Well, one thing's for sure, we're not having to deal with the same level of trouble that the Soviets dealt with in real life. Move up. Yes, here's their sort of their last refuge. Oh, that's a semi-motorized infantry brigade. Why did I build that? What did I build that for? These are life's questions. Did I build that for the heavy tank brigade? No, there's no way I would have done that. I have no idea why I built that, guys. That could have been built for any reason at all. Let's just punch. I'm gonna just let that go. We have encircled a few units, nothing crazy. See, this is what happens when you don't let the Soviet Union lose all of its officers in the purge. You can move up there, so let's do it. We can get across now. I imagine that this will take a while. Oh no, 4th of January. That's not too bad. Pay that. Okay, so we've got an event already to end the Finnish war. So after a long and brutal struggle, Soviet forces finally broke through the Finnish defences. Well, it wasn't that brutal, to be fair, but Finland, a small, poor minor power, put up a valiant fight. 30 days? Yeah, I guess. And it won respect, but still a war loss was not a victory. The Soviet leadership had envisioned a walkover, but what they got was a bloody stalemate that required excessive force to become a victory. Well, yeah, maybe. So, we'll settle for what we asked for, or we can bring them the socialism. I don't like the amount of debuffs we're going to get if we do that, and I don't like the fact that it ends the non-aggression pact. So, I think we will settle for what we asked for, but we have got more than I think we were planning to get. If I put the puppet in there now, what will happen when I press this? Let's see if we can cheese the game. Okay, so we didn't get the puppet war goal, unfortunately, that worked. Let's create the 1940 historic tank formations. Let's do it. Economic boost, short-term investment, annual national focus. We are building a lot of infantry and planes. So let's do that. Let's boost. And then we've got what? Annual espionage focus. Our neutrality is 0. So, what can we do this time? Let's do some counter-espionage. Now, apparently, I have units in foreign territory, but I can't see any. Okay, mobilization is very costly. Let's demobilize. Neither. I'm still going to leave that blank. That's not good. And then Hanko as well. So we have everything we need now as a launching pad to take over Finland proper. That was relatively straightforward to handle that. They do have a river line, which is a bit of a pain in the event that we need to sort of push on properly. But we're not actually that far away from their victory provinces. So their victory provinces are Vasa, Turku and Helsinki, and we've got Hanko now, which is a good jumping off point for both of these behind their lines. So yeah, that's relatively good news, I think, all things considered. And we took them down pretty quickly. Our army was very efficient there at handling them. So let's just put it so that we get to next month. Why, when I've upgraded units? That's... I'm a bit worried by this, because if every single unit of infantry that I've upgraded doesn't go into the unit, that feels like a bug. So what exactly is going on here? Because the others upgraded, so why haven't you guys? I guess if I need to handle that off camera, I can. I can do some more reorganization, because that's what Hearts of Iron needs, right? More laborious organization. I have troops. That's a shame. Right, I didn't keep hold of my land. Now, when's the truce end? That's the real question. Right, let's just get all of our tank units, all of our units out, and bring them back. We lost Pet's Almo, which is a shame, but oh well, game. Don't need to do your air superiority missions now. It's all been handled. We did at least do a lot of damage to their manpower as well, which is always nice. They have 10 air units, you know. That's actually not a small amount. Right, let's rebase the Red Navy. Okay, so we do have a forward jumping off point. It's down to 1. Oh, right. Yeah, you guys. Right, come back. Good. I think we are doing about half of our production now, which is really good. It's positive. Germany's our ultimate trade partner at the moment. No one else is really trading with us, which is a bit of a shame. And yeah, that's the end of the Winter War. I would have liked to have taken more, but those debuffs, or you know what they were saying that they were going to do, I don't want anyone else declaring war on us apart from Germany eventually. Right, let's just get to the end of the month. I think our infantry units are being built as things that I'm going to have to put into the units myself, which is a fucking annoying nightmare. Don't need Nicaraguan supplies. Oh, and we can motorize the whatever that is. The People's Moscow Division. Ooh, it's a guard division. Nice. But, by the way, when I'm off camera, this is literally all you miss. Me just going through and rearranging units. That's all I do whenever you miss time. And I put the time forward mainly just to make it a little bit more interesting. We've got another 3 units there ready that I can transport. I think what I'll do is I'll get to the end of the air production run and then I'll close out the episode. And the next major war now will be the invasion of the, I think, well, it will be the invasion of God, my brain, Germany. God, that was a pain in the arse. It'll be June before we can claim Barbaressia, which is this area down here, which I think is modern-day Moldova. Yeah, we'll do that trade. We'll do that one. Oh, and that one's good as well. Time's running a little bit slowly because of the amount of units, I think. Because, oh, and we do have planes still going, so let's make sure that they're not still doing air superiority. We don't want to waste fuel. And we lose 2 descent. And I think we can start training units or doing research again soon. Germany took Denmark. Okay, they are really kicking it up a gear. And let's move back to Kazan with these guys. And in fact, let's rearrange all of our air force now. We do have a lot of units that we can just move back. Up to 339 air units. We're nearly at 350. Which is pretty insane, to be honest. Very impressive. One naval bomber. Oh, you know what? I've just moved them back out, haven't I? No, that was stupid. Hopefully they'll be at the bottom. Not quite. We're looking for a 2. There we go. Let's give them a naval bomber guy. Very good. 340 units. We're nearly at 350, to be honest. I probably should keep going. We will continue this deal to get those bonuses. It's worth having the IC. 666 IC. Nearly. There's a magic number for you. Let's have a look at how Germany's doing for IC. 519. That is impressive. A lot of air power. About Italy, not a lot. And Japan's building a lot of twin engine fighters. Right, let's keep time going forwards for as long as possible. Oh, we've got 17 IC left over. From reinforcement. We can still choose to cancel Operation Z, but I don't want to do that. We would give them that much money in exchange for that much fuel. No, no. And in fact, you know what? Let's move all of these guys back to Moscow. which I think will sort our fuel situation out. Yep, looks like it has. There's our extra fighter. Let's see if we can find a air superiority person. No, no air superiority people. None whatsoever. Okay, well, we'll just go with a level 1 commander then. That's 441. And we're just waiting on the heavy bombers now. I have no idea why they're not necessarily being upgraded correctly. But I will let it rest. I won't dwell on it too much. Just wait for all of the units to get done. As I say, we're rocking through this production queue very quickly. Maybe I clicked the wrong button, that's why it's doing it. I have no clue what's causing that. I am going to need to keep building fighters. There's just no easy way of saying it. I need more fighters than 200. I probably need closer to 400 fighters. Oh, and Italy's just joined the war. That makes the Americans pissy. Right, and then there's another group of bombers built. We got any strategic guys? We do. 446 is not bad. Let's get some more fighters. I think 18. 3 rungs of 18. It doesn't take us a particularly long time to pump fighters out now. It seems to go relatively quickly. We'll build that airbase. Problem is, all of our major air bases are quite far from the front. We could do with some more, like, not in the middle of nowhere. I'll need to look at sort of Iran and Afghanistan to think of the best way to take them out. Hopefully they'll be relatively straightforward campaigns. We don't need to do that trade deal with France. Oh, and we can release Ooh. That's a... Ugh. It's only until April 9th. I think it's worth doing. And then we get something called the 5th Cavalry Text. Oh, we get a couple of units of decent tanks. Nice. Okay, that's good. A couple of tank units for nothing, effectively. And you know what, I can switch my production or my officer recruitment ratio around now. So, let's try and get spies up again. And let's keep officers at 8. It's a shame we had to do what we did with officer ratio for a while there, but it was the only way to build it up, really. And I think our earlier IC production is really starting to pay off now. Nope. Nope. God, we have so many units. I mean, this is crazy. Armor piercing units or stuff advanced. Thank you, game. Still want to maintain half a spy a day. They're all 40 techs, but the thing is we need to do 40 techs. Desperately. Good. Right, these units here, I'm going to watch what happens. Yeah, they're disappearing. They're not joining the unit. Ugh. Okay, I'll have to individually add these guys in, but that's not too bad. The majority of the ones being upgraded are here. And there's only a few sort of like just dotted around that I need to do. But I can get that done. That could be worse. Just a bit frustrating more than anything that I'm going to have to do that. Buy tungsten from China. No. What else have we got going on? What was I about to say? What was I looking at? Here we go, production-wise. So, got the whole queue being built now. Very good. Okay, so with everything being built, that makes things a little bit easier now on our production. I can start building new units soon. I'm going to build a fair amount of garrisons to form hedgehogs. So in the last episode I got asked about how I was planning to defend the Soviet Union. Now, we will inherit all of this land. We'll claim a little bit of Barbarossa on this waterline here. And we've got some sort of foresty, mountainy area here that we can try and hold on to. The toughest place to hold on to is the plains here, just before the bug. But in particular, Tremasil and Zorkia. Now, Tremasil is the site, of a major fort, I believe, from World War I. So I'm going to create a fort defense here in these 3 provinces just outside Lvov. And then I'm going to build up Brest-Litovsk into a hedgehog as well. So every major city between, I would say, the border and I think the Dnieper is going to be built up into a major defensive area. So, for example, Riga, Kuznas, Vilno, where else? Talanin, they will all be built up into decent defensive areas, and I'm going to build fortifications wherever there are fortifications already. Minsk, I'm going to build that up as well. So how long does a fortress take to build? Not too long. I'm not going to be able to build up too much, but I can at least build 1 more fortress everywhere. What about a pillbox? Okay, so you can get a pillbox done in 2 months. So I can at least get pillboxes everywhere where it's important to have them. And I'm going to build stacks of garrison units. And also, the other thing I want to do is increase the brigade strength of my militia units as well. So you know what, I'm going to research that now as well. Still getting 18 officers a day, that's not too bad. But yeah, everywhere where I can put a garrison stack, I'm going to put a garrison stack in all the cities. Then I'm going to do defense in depth. So my favourite way of defending the Soviet Union from previous experience, and I've only really done a Soviet campaign a couple of times, is having a core of infantry pretty much in every single province, and then having a further corps behind them, normally split, so 3, 2, and then 3, and then 2, so on. So the first line's relatively weak, but then it's backed up by a secondary line that's slightly stronger, and so on until they wear themselves out, with particular strong points like Brest-Litovsk, Kosanos, and anywhere along a river being of particular importance. If that line fails, we will move back to the this river that flows through Latvia, and then form a defense around Slamensk and Vitebsk, and then use the Dnieper and the Pripyat marshes as a barrier, and then hopefully use Kiev as a defense line, and then use a bit of a blocker here, all along the Bur and down. So if they break up through the north, I have a secondary defensive line ready made. But I'll talk in more detail about that pretty soon. Oh, hardened airstrips, good. Ah, very nice. So, airbase blueprints for level 4 for us to get the airfield conning control tower. Right, that's a 41 tech, we don't need to do that. Let's get tank destroyer and assault guns. And let's build our supply production back up. Now we're into the last sort of, I think, minute of this recording, I think. I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're into a new financial year, April 1st. Thank you very much for watching this episode. We've taken out the mighty Finns in this episode pretty quickly. We were able to overwhelm them with armour and air power. And I don't think they're going to recover for a little while. They've got a lot of infantry units and things on our border, but nothing we can't necessarily handle, I think. And the sort of next stage of our planning begins pretty soonish, with what am I going to do to handle Germany. I've gone through a little bit of that in this episode, but there'll be more of that to come in episodes in the future. So, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again, bye bye.